AM 710, KCMO, good morning. It's John DePetro. Well, on Wednesday, he became the 47th governor of Kansas sworn in, and he joins us right now. We want to say good morning to Kansas Governor Jeff Collier. Governor, good morning, and thank you for joining us on AM 710 KCMO.
Good morning, John. It's great to be with you.
Governor, first let's start with Wednesday. That seems like
hang on. I've got to start with something else.
All right, go right ahead.
I want you to know you are my first live radio interview as governor, and I think it's great.
Well, thank you very much, Governor. We are honored by that. And speaking of great, take us through. That must have been quite a ceremony on Wednesday, a very emotional day. Your beautiful family right there with you. This has obviously been building for quite some time. Enjoy the moment. But what was that like as you were finally then taking the oath and being sworn in as governor?
It was a very special day. We started out in Hayes, where I grew up. We were out at our family farm. We went to Mass there, visited a school and a mental health center, visited with kids. But then to be in the Capitol, in the Rotunda, it was an awesome experience. We had the National Guard there. We had the transfer of command ceremony, the swearing in, my family, and lots of friends there.
Governor, it would seem this would be an emotional week for you. And again, folks, we're speaking with the 47th governor of Kansas, Jeff Collier. I believe I read, now think of the timing of this, you were sworn in on Wednesday, and if I read this correctly, yesterday was the anniversary of when your dad passed away.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much for remembering him. Yeah, it was a very interesting day, and he was smiling, though. He had kind of a wry smile, I'm sure.
I want to go back to Wednesday. You go back to where you were a student. I did read where, a number of teachers who had you said that, they could see something remarkable about you then. Just that particular morning, think of that. I mean, maybe it hasn't settled in yet, but the accomplishment of being a student somewhere and then returning on the day that you're going to be sworn in as governor, that must have just been an incredible feeling.
Well, it was a touchstone for me. And the reason why is when I went to high school, growing up in Hayes, you go to John F. Kennedy Middle School, Thomas More, you get interested in service. And that was what set me on this. And that's why I'm a doctor, and that's why I was involved in public policy. And it's to make a difference in people's lives. And it was because of being a Kansan. And I think that sense of service is what really sets Kansas apart. And I think that's something that we should talk about and that we should celebrate.
We're speaking with Kansas Governor Jeff Collier. Now, Governor, obviously the Democrats have already started, and it's to be expected with politics, but they've already started to try to say, here we go, this is a brownback clone. They even unleashed a website. I love your quote where I read you said, hey, listen, no one would confuse Vice President Pence with President Trump. Touch on that a little bit.
You have to be your own man. I'm a surgeon, and I deal with people where they are. I'm not interested in looking backwards. I think the Democrats are probably more interested in looking backwards than forwards. I deal with really tough situations all the time, and what I've learned is you got to be your own man. You got to deal with the situation that's at hand. Everybody knows where I came from, which is I started out working for Bob Dole. I ended up working for President Reagan. And that's where I'm coming from. That's where Kansans are really from. And so I look at the situation that we are now and how do we grow our state? How are we going to deal with things? I think we have some opportunities, and we're going to seize them.
Do you feel, I know that you've talked about changing the tone at the Capitol, and also, from what I understand, you didn't waste any time, and yesterday took the time reaching across the aisle, meeting with Democrats. What can you tell us about that? It sounds like people are at least, they're very open and appreciative that you are reaching and trying to reach across the aisle and get some bipartisan support.
We have some tough decisions to make, no question about that. And I hope that everybody is willing to be constructive. I've visited with the House and Senate Republican leadership as well as the Democratic leadership. And we all agreed we're going to try to work together. We have some tough decisions. Let's turn the temperature down and get something done.